There, it is Kathy at Nothing So Strange. I am down here in the shop to do VR. This is a VR for the hashtag Editors Pick Decks, originally done by Nova Mundi, and I was tagged by Ina at Taproot Tarot. Thank you, Ina. Honestly, if I wasn't tagged, I don't think I would have done this one, because it's all about all sorts of categories of decks that I don't necessarily use myself, but I went and looked at Nova Mundi's original video, and I thought, oh, she says as a tarot pro, and I'm not a professional reader, I don't read for other people, but I do stock and carry a lot of decks, so I thought, yeah, I can do this. Okay, so here we go. The prompts. There's a lot of prompts here. And if I have a deck in the shop, but I don't have it personally, I'll just kind of wave the box at you. And if it's one that I actually have, I'll show you some cards. So, first of all, inner child work. I was so excited when Ina said she didn't do inner child work, because I don't do inner child work either. But I know the decks I would recommend for somebody to do it. Can you believe I haven't opened one of these for myself yet? Fairy Tale Tarot by Lisa Hunt. I'm definitely this terrible feeling I'm going to finish this video tonight and open a dozen decks. No, gotta keep the profit margin. Anyway, Fairy Tale Tarot is just marvelous. I've seen a million walkthroughs. I want this myself, but the prompt says, a deck you recommend for inner child healing, one that feels safe, nurturing, playful, ideal for for reconnecting with innocence, creativity, and emotional truth. So yeah, Fairy Tale, Magical Forest, another one which I cannot believe I haven't opened one for myself yet. And, oh my gosh, look at the delightful little animals on that. Again, tons of walkthroughs out there. And I never see people using this one. I need to open it for myself. Tarot of the Little Prince. I love the Little Prince. I'm always surprised at how sad it makes me when I reread it. But it does really tap into those feelings of childhood, and I think the deck really fits the meanings from the story to the traditional RWS really well. Second prompt, shadow work. I also don't do shadow work. Oops, I got my notes in the picture. This is a deck that's powerful for helping readers face their shadows, honest, deep, unafraid to confront the difficult. And I don't think my first recommendation is not at all surprising. Deviant Moon. I don't have a copy of yet. Someday I will. But I've got the Borderless and this one in here. I've got the big old book around the corner too. For shadow work, I would also recommend the Macabre Tarot. This one is super spooky, but also kind of fun. I like how it says, be warned, not for the lighthearted or weak-spirited. It is a bit dark, and I think it's a bit, what do we call it, confronting, maybe? Get these out of the way so I can show some cards in a bit. Third prompt, Deity Work. Spirit guides, a deck that serves as a spiritual bridge, perfect for working with deities, spirit guides, or higher realms. It holds sacred energy and supports devotional practice or channeled messages. This was an easy call. A relatively newish Call of the Morrigan. This is a beautiful deck. I love I love the crows on this. Another one that I can't believe I haven't opened for myself. Do not know how I am so strong in the face of all these beautiful decks. Next, Ancestor Work. A deck you'd suggest for connecting with ancestral wisdom, whether for lineage healing, honoring those who came before. This one opens the path to ancestral connection. Oh, I want all three of these so bad. And again, have not opened them. Rosebud. This one just seems to tap into ancestry. If I crash and burn and I open all these decks tonight and I have no stock to sell tomorrow, I'll do a video. And definitely the Relative Tarot, which was created, I think, for ancestral work. Yeah, connecting with your beloved ancestors. It's just so beautiful. I like it because it has the little hints of RWS in the background. And then this spectacular deck, the Hoodoo Tarot for root workers, and the artwork. The artwork is just so beautiful, and it just reminds me of people I have known growing up. Not sure I have a price tag on that one. It has a price. Take that off. And it's funny how half the decks have a price on them and the other half don't. I never seem to get that straight. Okay, finally, we're coming up to a category where I have one of the decks I want to recommend. Divination, a deck that excels in traditional divination, clear, direct, and accurate. Top pick for those seeking predictive insight or practical answers. Move this stuff back over. I have a lot of recommendations here, actually. I adore these. It's a recent addition to the shop, Conjure Cards. And this is one of the first decks, and I brought my own copy down here to show you, if I can find it. My husband was asking me when I was doing this if I was going to go have a tarot picnic, and I said, I wish I was having a tarot picnic. But let's get stuff out of the way. And the Conjure Cards. I'm not quite satisfied with the box on this. I think it looks beautiful and it feels really cool, but it wants to be open a little bit. But the cards themselves, I am so in love with these. There's a nice book that tells you how to read them. There's the backs. And you get the two jokers. And the cards are just hand-drawn. They feel really witchy. They're tapped into the Appalachian tradition of divination. And they are just wonderful. I really, oops, spider warning. Really, really adore these cards so much. Okay, so that is one deck I would recommend for divination. information. And then I also recommend Lenormand. And let's see, I've got a few Lenormand decks in here. Looks like I'm sold out of Pixies right now, which is just a new classic. Pixies artwork was rather got sort of a tiny but chunky guidebook, but Pixies art was reworked into, get my hand around here, set up rather awkwardly, but into these Lenormand cards. And yeah, if you like Lenormand cards that you can look at the card, you immediately know what it is. It's got the word on there. Pictures are all very simple and direct. So this is a really great deck, especially if you love her artwork. I also carry the Rana George, and I think I showed this recently. And mentioned how good it smells. So, nice book. And just, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this since I did recently, but it's so beautiful. And no words on it, but it has the corresponding cards. Just so shiny and beautiful. I love that so much. George. Have a lot of Lenormands here that I don't have copies of yet, which I'm going to be fixing soon. Love the ground. Very classic looking. The Sibylla, the Everyday Oracle. Love that. And oh yeah, I have the Steampunk Lenormand. Now this, been watching videos, and I know some people want very simple, very small Lenormand cards so they can do a grand tableau. And some people like the more oracle size Lenormand cards. And this would be your more oracle sized. This is, oops, you can't see that. This is really cool. They are much busier than a lot of Lenormands. But you can lay them all out and the pictures connect, which I find really cool. And they're busier. Sometimes it takes a second to think, what am I looking at here? But, I think it's, hey, that's a ship. Most of them are pretty easy. And they are just really fantastical, really steampunk, really fun cards. These have gone out of print, actually. But I have a nice stash in the shop still. As so often happens when I hear something's going out of print. Alright, and what else? I should give a shout out to the Folk Cards of Destiny, which I haven't learned how to read yet, but they're so pretty. So, whoops. So I want to show them. Old, I believe, German system, so it has the instead of your usual. Well, it does have hearts, but it has acorns and bells, I believe. Yeah, bells, balls. I think this is bells. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, so finally solidly in the game with divination cards here. Next prompt. As above, a deck that connects the reader to cosmic or spiritual realms, ideal for soul work, life path exploration, or messages from the higher self. Okay, well, since we're talking about higher realms, I've got the Notoria here, which is all angelly. I also have the Goetia, which is the demons, but they're not in the prompt, so Notoria for the prompt. So below, a deck you recommend for grounded world readings, captures everyday emotions, human experience, and earthly wisdom with clarity and depth. And this one, Pulp Tarot. This is one of my favorites. I have it in the shop. I have his horror tarot too. It's Todd Alcott. I'm gonna get his sci-fi tarot in the shop too, but this just so perfectly turns the RWS into these Pulp Fiction images. It is so wonderful. And so everydayness in the sense of it appearing to emerge from this 1950s wonderland. Love that. Okay. Next prompt is for a hug deck. This took me a while because I don't often think of decks in this way. A deck that offers emotional support, comfort, gentle, compassionate, and soothing. Deck that feels like a warm hug for anyone going through a tough time. And I finally thought, okay, this is going to be Black Violet. I was so excited when this came out mass market. I could put it in the shop. I'd still like to get all the indie versions too, because I love the different fonts, the different backs, the different colors. But I know Heidi Phelps made this when she, I believe her mother was dying and her daughter was being born. I think I have that right. And, you know, it is visually very pared down, but I find it very comforting. It's, you know, in a way it's kind of iconic. It brings forth these images that, you know, that feels like watching Snow White or something when I was little. So it kind of taps into childhood a bit, taps into some classic art like Aubrey Beardsley, and it just is Very comforting deck to use. I like the extra cards too, Coven and Ghost. Wish I had all the extra ones. Still so sad that the Winky cards with the portrait on them sold out before I had a chance to get one. Heartbreak. If you know where I can get one, give me a holler. Okay, so that's my hug. Feel good deck. Carla Tides. It's another one that I adore so much, and I know I've shown this before too, so I won't spend too much time on it, but it's around this way. It's just so jolly, and there's so many images from Alice in Wonderland. White rabbits running around everywhere, historical images, famous movie stars, strobed King Louis. And so this just makes me feel happy to see the colors and the flowers and the general zaniness and creativity. Okay, now to most versatile, handling any kind of reading. And any RWS will do this category, and I do try to keep when I first opened, I didn't realize how people were going to go for the RWS so much. And now I keep a nice, there's the Borderless, 1909. There's if you just want to pick up the one you learned to read with in the 80s. And a giant version of that. And the round one. I do like to keep a bunch in. There's a little mini. And actually, I'm going to jump ahead to number 12. Best for beginners. I'd always start a beginner off with RWS. And I mean, if they're a real beginner, I found this surprised me. I have a hard time keeping minis in the shop because, they're kind of low risk. And so if somebody's wavering, they'll be like, "Oh, I'll just pick up a mini." Look at that. Okay, I skipped a prompt. Number 11 was most inspiring. Oh, and there they are on the shelf. The River and the Archaeo. I'm going for 2 there. This asks for deck you recommend to inspire creativity, intuitive flow, or personal transformation. Whether it's the art, the energy, or the depth of the messages, this one sparks something powerful in the reader. I've been a fan of Nick Bantock's books. I just set myself up so awkwardly, didn't I? And so, really excited by both of these decks. They're just so beautifully put together. Guidebook, which is absolutely gorgeous. And look at that beautiful box. I don't know how you could be around this and not feel a bit inspired, but I also like, he tells you what the cards mean, but he also is a bit, figure out how you want to work with these. He gives some suggestions, but he does kind of suggest that you use them to find your own archetypes. He even has given you blank to come up with your own. And so, you know, my phone rather rudely cut me off. I kept talking for several decks. So now I'm backtracking. I was in most inspiring and this is the river. I think you saw that. And so the second one by Nick Bantock, which is just more painterly than the Archaeo, I think. They're different. And they're just both so powerful. Okay, so that is one of the most inspiring decks for me. So beautiful. Next prompt. Best for professionals. I've seen a lot of people, or a few people, mention the tarot volatile for that. And if I was just using my own decks, that's what I'd choose because it's so above and beyond perfect and serious and strong symbolism and depth and layered readings. But I'm doing something a little bit different here. And just recommending for people that use Marseille. This is my only Marseille deck, and if somebody was going to read with me with Marseille, I would want them to use this deck. I love these muted colors. It just speaks to me. It feels a little more gentle in a way, a little more, I don't know, sometimes Marseille feels a little cartoony to me in a way. Right now I'm going to have the hordes of Marseille readers coming after me. But this just is beautiful. I think the coloring is beautiful. And so, since I'm using things in the shop, this is what I would say for a professional reading. Witchy vibes. And this again is, if I was using my own decks, I would go for Remembering the Sweet Fool probably. But I think, you know, you can't get witchier than Ask the Witch. I think this is really neat. For an Oracle deck, this is really cool. It's the Sigil Witchery Oracle. 60 cards. It's got symbol cards, element cards, design cards, and some blanks. And so definitely designed to be witchy. What else is witchy? Terror of the Abyss always feels a little witchy to me. Witchy aesthetics, moody vibes, magical symbolism, or spell work. Yeah, that'll do. Final prompt, astrology work. A deck you recommend for astrology lovers and cosmic seekers. One that weaves planetary wisdom and archetypes into its structure. Ideal for exploring birth charts, transits, and celestial guidance. I've got two to recommend here. Heaven and Earth, which is a beautiful deck. So beautiful. Is really good for following the RWS system, but also linking it to astrological symbols. And then I know I've shown this one off before, but Star Lord Arcana, which just beautiful. I love this deck so much. Is replica updated and colored of a deck from the, I think, early 1700s. It is truly beautiful. And that's all 15. I have to go see if I can stitch 2 video halves together into something complete. And thank you so much for listening. And again, thank you to Ina for tagging me, because I probably wouldn't have done this if I hadn't been tagged. So that was wonderful. Good night, y'all.